Welcome everyone, let's get things started. We're going to be talking today about intelligent process automation, and today we're going to do the speed round. I'm Mike Lewis, Director of Product Marketing for Nintex. Today's our speed round. I promise you, you're not going to fall asleep during this presentation. I can't promise you you're going to absorb every salient detail. It is not designed for that, don't even try. Also, even though the drinks are flowing right now, I don't recommend trying to do a shot every time we do a use case because you will not make it through alive, okay? Now, what we're going to be talking about today is intelligent process automation. In this era that we're in today, where digital transformation can be achieved using a lot of different tools in very, very efficient ways for your organization. Nintex, one of the forefront of intelligent process automation today. I'm going to show you a lot of the great things that we're doing. The capabilities of IPA are these: advanced workflow, automated document generation, DocGen. We've got mobile apps and forms, process mapping, process intelligence, and even a lot of AI, such as RPA, and a lot of machine learning, machine intelligence systems are all a part of this. And the point of intelligent process automation is to be able to give you the sophisticated process automation use cases that the enterprise runs on today, but being able to provide them with the ease of use of very custom applications, right? Our goal is to be able to empower the line of business to be able to handle automation steps on their own, but without having to go into heavy coded, heavy developed solutions, all right? This is our sweet spot, and this is what we're going to be going through today. What I want to do is give you a taste of this as we go through. Now in Nintex, we're deployed across SharePoint, Office 365, and with our own platform called the Nintex Workflow Cloud. This is very extensible. It allows your line of business to be able to work through SharePoint, through Salesforce, through Box, through ServiceMax, through a lot of our different deployments, and make it very easy to achieve intelligent process automation. Now, as we get going here, let me explain what's going to happen. We are going to go very quickly through 15 use cases that shows you the breadth and depth of what intelligent process automation can do to automate anything in the enterprise, okay? We're going to go very fast. These are very sophisticated use cases. The thing I want you to keep in mind as we go through, two things. Number one, you won't be able to follow it all. Please come back to our booth. I'll show you where at the end of this, so we can walk you through any one of these deeply that's very relevant to you, so you can see how we did it. The second thing I want you to keep in mind is there isn't anything up here that can't be done through simple drag, drop, and configuration on a no-code platform. We're talking hours and days, not weeks and months. We're talking about the line of business and basic IT. We're not talking about heavy development cycles to do these. You're going to see sophistication. What you're not going to see is things that are hard to automate, okay? And that's the entire point of IPA. All right, deep breath. Without further ado, here's 15 use cases in 15 minutes. All right, we begin today with our story of Ray. Ray is a brand new sales executive, just got hired at an advanced manufacturing company. Ray needs to be onboarded, and the first thing he needs, of course, is a new computer. So he's going to go through basic HR onboarding, and then we're going to get Ray a new computer. So the automation is going to automate the process by which Ray gets his new computer. He'll be provisioned on it, and automatically he's going to get the software he needs. He's going to get set up with a new employee email. Finance is going to be notified of the use of that. He's going to be set up in the groups he needs, and we're going to notify back to HR that he's been set up. Ray's off and running. Okay, now, Ray almost immediately wants to take time off. I don't know, Ray. I'm not so sure about that, but here he goes. He's trying to take time off. Real simple form. He requests it. It goes to his manager. If his manager doesn't respond right away, that's okay. We're going to bug him through the workflow to get that approved. Now, Ray, I'm sorry, but the answer might be no. I mean, you just started. But on the off chance we're feeling generous and the answer is yes, that's fine. We're going to update the calendar, the team calendar. We're going to update HR. We're going to update the payroll system so that everything's just handled. Easy, 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 right? Okay, now, Ray works in sales, and Ray's got his first one-on-one meeting with a client. This is great, but Ray's going to need help. He doesn't know everything. He needs help within the organization. So he's going to set up a simple form to request help from the organization. The CRM system is going to be updated, and that workflow is going to go find the most relevant people within the organization to help Ray in this one-on-one client meeting. As it does, it's going to notify their managers, make sure they get approved. And those managers are going to approve the resources, and if they don't, again, we'll bug those managers to get it done. The workflow's there to make sure things get done. Now, once these things are set up and these people have notified that they're going to be on it, now Ray has his V team to go with him. All the documents are going to be aggregated in SharePoint for him. A Slack channel is going to be created. Automatic meetings are going to be set up, 30, 5 days in advance to make sure everyone's on the same page, and every document's going to be shared equally. Why? So that Ray does not go in there by himself, and so everyone's working as a team, all completely automated. Now, once Ray gets that client to sign that contract's not done yet because we have to go through legal. Legal needs to redline that contract. So legal is going to use DocGen to create that document, and it's going to go into a process of negotiation with the other team's legal counsel. Now they'll cycle through once or twice or 3 times on the little T's and C's, but when they get all done, it's going to get signed out for the approval. It's going to be sent for e-signature. Now, that company's got to e-sign. They have to send it right back. If it has been substantively changed, we're going to cycle back through one more time and say, whoa, hold on a second, you guys made some changes that we didn't like. But assuming they didn't, everything's fine, we're going to finally sign it, circle it around everyone in the account team, and it's going to be archived back into SharePoint, okay? Bam. Now, finance needs to now make sure we get paid because we brought that solution. So, vendor submits an invoice. The invoice needs to be matched up against both the PO, the original purchase, and what was actually delivered. Now, if these things don't line up, we got a problem. If there is a match, it's great, really easy. The invoice is sent for an auto approval, one person approves it, and bam, we schedule it for payment. But if it doesn't, now we've got a match problem, we need to reject it. The match exception needs to be logged. We can do an override by simply going back to that vendor saying, hey, you know what? You seem to be charging a little different than what we thought. Here's an email, fill out a form, let's get these matched up. And now that they match, we're able to actually do that submission. This is a very complicated process in finance made incredibly easy through IPA. Now, marketing is so excited they want to issue a press release because we've seen so many sales coming through and our numbers are jumping up. Good job, Ray. Now, what we need to do is to get this press release done. Press releases are not easy. They seem easy, but they touch almost every aspect of the company and they have to be right because everyone's going to see it. So the PR manager is going to create that PR creation form, submit the content of the press release out. We need the social team, we need the creative team to do their pieces for it, so they'll be notified. But ultimately, we create the template, the PR manager creates a first draft, and that draft has to be sent through to marketing, through to product, through to CMO, legal, and probably the CEO. All have to see it. They're going to have good things to say, bad things to say, but at the end of the day, we're going to get a collaborative process to approve that thing as efficiently as we can. We're going to get that final press release created using DocGen, archived, and sent off to the agency to send out. All of that made it very, very easy. Now, we have gone through a lot of fun things here for the line of business. But now we need to talk a little deeper because every industry has some very specific things that industry needs to do and to automate. We're going to start with Ray's wife. Ray's wife her name's Carrie. Ray actually works in the medical industry, and Ray's wife helps run clinical trials. Clinical trials in pharmaceutical are the lifeblood of the company. Thousands of people need to try a new drug to make sure that drug's okay, all right? But recruiting is hard. So what do? We put them up on a website. Through an ad, we drive traffic into the site. They get some initial details, but by law, they need to be contacted by a recruiting specialist to give them all the information. And they do, and that makes them, we check to make sure they're eligible, but if they are eligible, now they have to sign the informed consent form. If they don't sign that, we're going to have to go through a cycle of going back to them and calling back, but that's okay. It's all automated to make sure it does. But in the end, we make sure that the right information is provided and the patient receives an email to log in and be a part of that trial. This is how we automate and create scale through IPA. Now, Ray's wife, the physician, is also a member of a team that does investigator of medical devices. Does everyone know that a tongue depressor is a medical device? I don't get it either, but apparently it really is and has to go through trials because, I don't know, whatever. So, investigator has to be signed up and they have to sign an agreement to come in board. This is a very simple process, but it has to be done a lot. So the investigator confirms receipt, we update in the CRM, we send them an email, the content gets reviewed. Now we have to make sure that they reviewed every bit of this and they've signed up for the agreement. If they don't, we have to cycle it back through. That's okay, that's what the workflow is for. We get it all done. If there's anything missing, we have to submit a missing data form. It circles back to the client. But if not, we got it. All the files finally securely stored, and this is done. Very, very important in medical device. Now, Ray's wife also receives clients. She is actually a primary care physician, and she wants to make it easy for new people to sign up to become a patient within her clinic. So she makes it an easy form for them to fill out. to request a first appointment. We confirm the appointment, we update them in the record. The appointment gets scheduled. Now, the patient is going to be sent something for portal intake. This is a simple form for them to provide 3 very important things. They're going to fill out an insurance form, an intake form, and a medical information release form. And if we have any of that information already, it's going to pre-populate into the form to make those very, very simple to fill out. But once they do, the billing department's updated, patient intake's updated, we have all their primary information. Our medical records are sent over automatically, and now when that new patient of Ray's wife comes in, Ray's wife knows a ton about them, and their care can begin immediately. That's IPA. Now, moving back over, Ray, of course, is thinking about buying a new home. You know, he and his wife are doing well. He's making sales. She's getting lots of patients. But Ray needs to get some mortgage insurance, so he's got to go through a process here. But that's okay. We made it easy for Ray. His policy application is going to be reviewed. A first risk level is assessed. Assuming Ray isn't uninsurable, I think you probably are, Ray, but we'll see. If he's not uninsurable, that's fine. We're going to go through and do an evaluation of his level of risk, okay? Assuming that he's a low level of risk, it's going to go right through. The broker is going to be informed. A binder needs to be notified. A binder actually comes in and insures someone in between the application process and the final signature. That's okay. We took care of that, made it easy. The borrower then needs to accept the terms. Let's say Ray likes him. He accepts the terms. He finds his final agreement. He e-signs it. The policy is issued, and Ray is ready to go. He can go get his home. Nice job, Ray. Now, Ray also needs to get some savings going, right? He's got to make this mortgage payment. So he needs to open a new bank account. Now, banks are legally required to run what's called a KYC check. This is to make sure that Ray doesn't actually work for a drug cartel. Ray, are we good? We'll find out. Okay. So Ray is going to fill out that application form to the bank. The AML manager who is required to make sure that that KYC check is done is going to run the KYC check. They're going to check. Now, if it turns out Ray does work for a drug cartel, that's not good. Doesn't look good with your wife working in drug programs too. But if it does, that'll go off to the government. If not, we're going to check Ray's risk level. If his risk level is low, it's going to score right through. We'll generate the document, Ray e-signs, and we're good. Even if it's not, the AML manager can override if they think Ray's kind of a tweener, but they're still okay. There's a process in here that they can get him through anyway, and Ray's good to go. Now, Ray also wants to think about family and the future and make sure that his wealth that he and his wife are amassing are taken care of. And wealth management, one of the trickiest parts of this, of course, is estate planning. So Ray is going to go through again, fill out a simple form. We need to know what kind of estate planning you're doing, Ray. You're doing power of attorney, trust, beneficiary designation. There's a lot of different pieces of this. Ray's going to sort himself through this process. Again, very easy through a form. We're going to take that form. Any data that we don't have about Ray, we're going to ask. Anything we already have, we can auto-populate it right through here. We'll go through a review process to make sure that the legal forms are actually being created correctly and that we have Ray's information right. Relationship manager is going to double check that, make sure that it's okay. And if it is, all parties are going to get together, meet. We're going to need a notary present. We're going to scan those documents in, put them into SharePoint, and when we're done, we're going to send everything off to the county government to make sure that everything's bonded. Ray, your estate is now safe and secure. Very easy. Now, Ray wants to see what the public record request of that wealth management looks like. Ray can go in and do a public record request. This is the way that governments interface with the public most commonly, and it is among the most painful processes any government agency ever has to deal with. Unless they use this and we make it super easy for them, which we do for a lot of government agencies right now. So what do? We create a simple form for the public. The form gets sent to an agency who has lots of detail already set up to where they know what they can send. When they do, they evaluate the request. If anything's missing, they ask, they send it in. Upon first review, if it's good, they might send and look for additional information they need from the person who's requesting. If they do, they get it. If not, they go ahead and release. Now, the public, once they get their information, can say, no, that wasn't enough, I need more. They can file an appeal. The appeal is automatically reviewed and tried here. Might be denied, sorry, that's all we can publicly release, but if there is more, they'll share it, and there it is. The good news about this is the back and forth that happens with the public here happens very, very, very quickly. It's highly responsive. Not what people are used to with government agencies. Really turns things around for a lot of state and local governments here. Now, Ray, I mentioned, works in manufacturing. Ray actually deals with a lot of suppliers, and it's hard to deal with all these suppliers always coming and going. There's 1 million parts to the large wind turbines that Ray's company makes. Now, Ray, as he's going through these part suppliers, he has a simple process. They sign up. If they've already worked with him before, then it's really easy. If they're brand new, we just update a CRM, put them in the record. We're going to run a background check on these because we have to. These are serious wind turbines Ray creates. And now the supplier's account is all set up. Now, if they were already a customer, we may or may not have to run the background check. The system will actually cycle through and that make it very simple. Now we have a new account service is requested. The manager's notified. We send an SMS, and once the account's been approved, we send a welcome kit to the supplier. Ray doesn't have to do anything here. This is all automated. This is, again, how IPA is used to scale across thousands and thousands of different people, even though Ray may be one of only 2 or 3 people in the company that can deal with this. It doesn't matter because the automation scales it. Now, the last thing we're going through today, we're going to show a little art of the possible as we go through here, because the last piece I want to show you is how we can use automation to actually connect to AI and things like IoT, because a workflow is actually a start point, and that start point can come in through the Nintex platform from a number of different ways. In this case, we're talking about an IoT device. So here's an IoT-enabled generator fails on that wind turbine that Ray manufactured. I'm sorry, Ray, but you have a responsibility to make sure that thing's running. You sold uptime to that energy company. So Ray, that's okay, because the IoT device triggered a workflow, and that workflow opened a case immediately in the CRM. It sent that same sensor data that said, I'm this generator, and here's what was wrong. And that generator information, that problem information, automatically updated, sent through an SMS text to the right field tech who's closest to go deal with it. And on their way in, they can understand everything that's wrong with the generator. They can actually use smart tagging and GPS to find exactly where the problem is. And by the time they get there, they can fix it very easily. They know the right parts to have in the truck and what to do as soon as they land. Good news for Ray. Once the job's done, the client e-signs the approval. The case is updated in the CRM. All the work order and information is completed and done and signed. The equipment service is all stored in SharePoint, so we have the history on that device, and we're all the way there. All right, my watch says we did that in under 14 minutes. I got one to spare. So, what you saw was a lot of automation happening, a lot of different industries, and most importantly, just around the everyday functional roles in the organization. People who work in HR and finance and sales, it doesn't matter what your role is, it doesn't matter what your industry is. We have tackled some of the most sophisticated enterprise use cases that you will ever see out there, and we do it without writing code, and we help them do it in ways by leveraging a very, very broad and extensible platform and connecting into the everyday systems that you use. You saw us using eSignature here, things like Box, SharePoint, CRM, Salesforce. It doesn't matter what the system is. They're all plug and play. They all connect in. So think of it as the Lego toolkit. You can build out so many things using these pieces, and you don't need to cross the line into writing code. You don't need to turn these into giant developer projects. You just need to sequence them the right way using the tools of intelligent process automation. Please come to the Nintex booth. We're way down there. Look, I wrote directions for you. We're down there at booth 1814. We'd love to walk you through more slowly, I promise, any one of these use cases and dozens, if not dozens and dozens and dozens more, and walk you through everything we're doing. Thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate it.